They taught you to be kind, to be polite, to turn the other cheek, to never hurt anyone, but they never told you the price of being too nice. In the real world, niceness isn't a virtue, it's a vulnerability. It paints a target on your back for every manipulator, every opportunist, every silent predator. It says to the world, here is someone who will not fight back. Machiavelli, cold, cunning, and brutally honest, would have spat on such advice. He did not believe in fairy tales of goodness. He believed in power, in survival, in reality, and he knew that nice guys don't just finish last, they get eaten alive. In The Prince, Machiavelli makes it clear, a ruler must learn how not to be good, because the world itself is not good. The world is brutal. People are selfish, deceptive, driven by their own interests. If you assume the best in others, you will be deceived. If you always yield, you will be dominated. If you are always nice, you will be used. Machiavelli's message to the nice guy is simple. Wake up, see the world not as it should be, but as it is. Stop believing that kindness earns respect, it earns pity, or worse, contempt. Look around you. The ruthless rise to power. The assertive command attention. The cold-hearted dominate. The ones who say no are valued. The ones who bend to every request are forgotten. That is the brutal symmetry of life. Niceness has its place, but only when it is controlled. Strategic, weaponized. Being nice all the time is not virtue, it is weakness. And if you want to win, you must learn when to put away your smile and unsheath your blade. Nice guys live under the illusion that if they give enough, sacrifice enough, agree enough, they will finally be loved, rewarded, appreciated. But the world doesn't keep moral score. It forgets your sacrifices. It does not care about your pain. It respects only your strength. Machiavelli never wrote for saints, he wrote for survivors. He would tell you, stop being the prey, start becoming the predator, stop pleasing everyone, start controlling the game, stop avoiding confrontation, start setting traps. He saw human nature for what it is, unstable, self-serving, often cruel, and that clarity is the antidote to the poison of niceness. Nice guys are exploited, not because they are bad, but because they refuse to see the truth. They want harmony. Machiavelli believed in conflict. They want to build bridges. Machiavelli built fortresses. They want to be accepted. Machiavelli wanted control. So if you are the nice guy who feels overlooked, stepped on, or used good, let that pain be your wake-up call. It is a warning, a chance to transform, to stop being a servant in a world that rewards kings. You don't need to become cruel, but you must stop letting others wound you. Kindness without limits is self-sabotage. Mercy without power is irrelevant. If you want to survive and thrive, you must stop being the harmless one in the room. You must become dangerous, not reckless, but calculated, controlled. Someone who can smile, but also strike. Someone who can forgive, but only if it serves a purpose. Someone capable of peace, but never afraid of war. Because in the end, the world will not reward your goodness, it will reward your strength. And in a world that feeds on weakness, that is no sin, that is power. Nice guys make one fatal mistake. They crave approval. They need to be liked, the way an addict needs a fix. Every word, every action, every choice is filtered through one question. Will they still like me after this? But in the cold eyes of the world, that desperation is disgusting. Machiavelli would laugh at it. He'd tell you, stop begging for love, start commanding respect. Respect is never given to those who please. It is given to those who assert. The moment you reshape yourself to fit the desires of others, you lose your form. You become a mirror instead of a man, a tool instead of a purpose. Predictable, disposable. People respect boundaries, they respect consequences, they respect power, and they respect fear, not because fear is cruelty, but because fear is certainty. Nice guys rarely draw lines. They bend, they yield, they accommodate, even when no one asks them to, because they believe love is earned through obedience. But obedience earns only one thing: domination. If people learn they can push you, they will. If they see you never say no, they will take until nothing is left. And you won't even be thanked for your sacrifices. You'll be resented for being so easy to use. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. People want leaders, not servants. Direction, not passivity. A man who stands firm, who does not flinch, who can say no and mean it. He becomes untouchable. Not because he is aggressive, but because he has spine. Nice guys bend, and in bending they break. They are soft where they should be steel. Detachment is freedom, and control is your greatest weapon. If you want to stop being the pawn and start playing as the master, you must rise above the need for approval. You must stop giving away pieces of yourself for the temporary comfort of being liked. Understand this: people respect what they cannot fully see, what they cannot predict, what they cannot control. When you move in silence, when you hold your emotions close, you create an atmosphere of mystery. That mystery commands respect more than any confession ever could. The truth is, the world is built to devour the overly generous, the overly forgiving, the ones who explain themselves to exhaustion. A man who reveals every wound is a man who invites every redditor. A man who reveals every plan is a man who can be stopped. Machiavelli's lesson is simple: protect your intentions, protect your spirit, protect your strategy. You can still be kind, but never be naive. You can still be fair, but never be predictable. You can still love, but never love so blindly that you forget to protect your throne. Stop apologizing for having standards. Stop clarifying your boundaries. Stop softening your truths just to make others comfortable. When you do that, you teach the world to treat you like a doormat. And a doormat is stepped on, forgotten, and replaced. You want to command respect? Then start by respecting yourself, enough to enforce your own lines. If someone crosses you, correct them. If someone disrespects you, remove them. If someone takes from you, cut them off. Not in anger, but with surgical, cold precision. Because respect is not given to those who beg for it. Respect is reserved for those who enforce it. When you tolerate disrespect, you grant permission for it to happen again. Silence can be power, but only when it is backed by action. A powerful man does not rant. He does not cry for sympathy. He does not plead. It simply acts. He moves with quiet confidence, letting consequences speak louder than any threat. When you move like this, you become untouchable. People will wonder what you're thinking. They will fear testing you. They will hesitate before crossing you, because you have shown them that you are not afraid to defend your kingdom. That is the Machiavellian mindset, to rule your own domain with unshakable authority. Remember, you owe no one an explanation for how you protect your peace. You do not have to justify your boundaries. You do not have to soften your words to keep others calm. Let them be uncomfortable. Let them talk. Let them misunderstand. The man who can be misunderstood yet remain unmoved is the man who cannot be broken. If you must speak, speak with finality. If you must act, act with purpose. If you must show mercy, show it from a position of strength, never from fear. Nice guys lose because they think goodness alone is enough. But the world respects power, and power is silent, strategic, controlled. It is time to kill the weakness within you that wants to be liked at all costs. It is time to bury the boy who wants to be everyone's hero. It is time to awaken the man who commands respect, not through words, but through presence. No more endless chances. No more soft boundaries. No more explanations. Just decisive action. Calm, unshakable, and utterly fearless. That is the mindset Machiavelli taught. That is the path from nice to powerful. And if you are ready to walk it, understand this. Silence is your shield. Detachment is your freedom. Boundaries are your sword. And your presence, that is your throne. Step into it without apology. Rule your life as if no one else's permission matters, because it doesn't. Because a kingdom without walls invites invasion. And a man without boundaries invites exploitation. You cannot expect the world to respect what you do not defend. You cannot expect people to treat you as a king if you behave like a servant. Understand this. The world is not kind to those who will not protect themselves. If you show weakness, the world will feed on you. If you show desperation, the world will sell you dreams and deliver nightmares. Machiavelli taught that fear, even more than love, preserves power. Not because fear is cruelty, but because fear is consistent. People may love you today and turn on you tomorrow, but fear keeps them respectful even when they disagree. It is not about terrorizing others. It is about making it clear you will not be moved. You will not be manipulated. You will not be used. That is how you keep your throne. You see, nice guys love to talk about fairness. They believe if they are fair, the world will be fair in return. That is an illusion. Fairness only exists when you have the power to enforce it. Fairness only survives when backed by strength. Otherwise, fairness is a shield that crumbles the moment it is tested. So stand your ground, set your limits, and let those limits be non-negotiable. The moment you compromise on your boundaries, you teach people they are optional. You will not need to scream. You will not need to argue. When your decisions are final, they echo. When your silence is firm, it roars. When you move with unwavering certainty, the world cannot help but bow to it. You must become comfortable being the villain in other people's stories. Because to them, anyone with boundaries looks like an enemy. Anyone who will not bend looks cruel. Anyone who will not apologize looks arrogant. But that is their perception, their weakness, their problem. Your responsibility is not to carry their comfort. Your responsibility is to guard your kingdom. So yes, be kind, but never dependent. Be generous, but never desperate. Be forgiving, but never foolish. Move with strategy, not emotion. Protect your peace like a crown. Machiavelli would tell you this. The world does not belong to those who beg for understanding. The world belongs to those who shape it by force of will. Nice guys try to be understood. Powerful men do not care. They move forward while others waste time explaining, debating, hesitating. They build their empire, brick by brick, while the nice guy is still waiting for applause. Stop waiting for applause. Applause is noise. Power is silence. Let them talk. Let them complain. Let them call you cold. Let them say you've changed. It means they can feel your transformation. It means you have finally become someone who cannot be controlled. That is how you escape the nice guy curse. That is how you rise. That is how you become untouchable. So remember this. Silence is your armor. Boundaries are your fortress. Detachment is your liberation. If you wish to lead, you cannot fear being alone. If you wish to rule, you cannot fear being misunderstood. And if you wish to be respected, you cannot fear being disliked. This is the path, not easy, not gentle, but real. And reality, Machiavelli would tell you, is the only kingdom worth conquering. ***, you must remember, your comfort zone is a prison disguised as safety. Niceness is the warden, keeping you docile, keeping you afraid of making enemies, afraid of standing alone. But greatness was never born in comfort. Greatness is forged in risk, in strategy, in the courage to claim what others fear to touch. They told you to keep the peace, but peace is only meaningful if you have the power to enforce it. Otherwise, it is not peace, it is submission. They told you to forgive endlessly, but forgiveness without consequence is not virtue. It is permission for others to harm you again and again. They told you to explain, to justify, to be transparent. But explanation is a mirror, showing the world your doubts, your fears, your unfinished thoughts. And when they see your fears, they will use them. When they see your doubts, they will feed them. So learn to move in silence. Learn to act without permission. Learn to disappear when you must, reappear with strength, and never announce your plans. Machiavelli would tell you this. The man who explains nothing cannot be manipulated. The man who reveals nothing cannot be betrayed. The man who gives nothing away cannot be controlled. That is power. Quiet, unbothered, untouchable. Nice guys believe that vulnerability earns loyalty, that confession will heal the world. But Machiavelli saw the truth. Vulnerability without boundaries invites vultures. Confession without caution invites opportunists. You can be open but never unguarded. You can be human but never an easy target. Your soul is yours to protect. Your spirit is yours to guard. No one else will do it for you. And if you think kindness alone will buy you love, look around. The world forgets kindness the moment it becomes inconvenient. The world remembers strength. The world respects what it cannot bend. So let them call you harsh. Let them call you arrogant. Let them say you changed. They will test your boundaries. They will challenge your will. And when you do not move, they will learn. This is not cruelty. This is nature. Lions do not apologize for their claws. Eagles do not apologize for their talons. Neither should you. Protect what is yours. Protect who you are. Protect your mission. If you lose friends for setting boundaries, they were never friends. They were beneficiaries of your weakness. If you lose opportunities because you refused to bend, then those opportunities were never meant for a man who leads. Because the man who leads, the man who commands, the man who stands unshakable, he will always find doors opening for him, not because he asks, but because he dares. That is what Machiavelli saw. That is what the world still respects today. Never explain, never justify, never beg, act, decide, move, and let the world adjust to your truth. ***, stop believing you owe the world an explanation for existing. You do not owe them comfort. You do not owe them your peace. You do not owe them your weakness on display. Every moment you spend trying to be understood is a moment you could have spent building your empire, protecting your name, forging your destiny. Remember this: people only care about what you can do for them. When you can no longer serve them, they will vanish. So why bend your soul to please them? The moment you detach from the approval of others, you become a different creature. Dangerous, calm, disciplined. You no longer need applause. You command respect. You no longer ask permission. You give orders. You no longer apologize. You act with clarity. That is the Machiavellian mindset. To those who cannot understand you, you will be labeled cold. Let them. To those who cannot bend you, you will be labeled arrogant. Let them. To those who cannot use you, you will be labeled heartless. Let them. Let them talk. Because while they talk, you build. While they gossip, you move. While they complain, you conquer. Niceness will keep you stagnant. Strategy will keep you advancing. Mercy is only valuable if you possess the power to enforce it. Otherwise, it is surrender. Never become a slave to praise. Praise is fleeting. One day they worship you, the next they crucify you. Let them. You are not here to be loved by the mob. You are here to rule yourself. The only approval you ever need is your own. The only permission you ever need is your own. So stand tall. Be decisive. Move in silence. Reveal nothing. Explain nothing. Strike only when it matters. This is the path of power. This is the way of the wolf among sheep. No more apologies for being strong. No more guilt for being ambitious. No more shame for protecting your vision. They will try to soften you with words. They will try to tame you with guilt. They will try to break you with expectations. Refuse. Nice guys dream of a fair world. Strategic men build a fair world. And they build it by strength, not by surrender. If you must choose between being liked and being respected, choose respect. If you must choose between being understood and being feared, choose to be feared, because respect protects you, fear protects you. Kindness unguarded destroys you. Let them think you are ruthless. Let them think you are dangerous, because dangerous men do not get exploited. Dangerous men do not get walked over. Dangerous men set the rules. Dangerous men shape the world. And when you understand that, truly understand it, no one will ever be able to break you again.